Student outcome changes whenever we realize where those holes are from the exposure of them in the data. We realized also another thing from our past Teach Check, we might use a different phrasing in class than what is used on an assessment. And that reminds us that we need to not just use one way of speaking about something, but several different ways so that the kids aren't blindsided. They become aware that it might be using different words, but it's essentially the same idea.
Well, if teachers are looking at the data and making sure that they are teaching the standards, and it's going to make the students more successful.
It's more of a focus on the student as a learner, not so much as me as a teacher. I'm going to stand up and deliver it to you. It's more of a focus on how do the kids learn and how are they going to understand, so that I can't say I just opened my book and I taught you this, how come you didn't get it?
Once we have the data and we see what they need to work on, then we are able to, at that point, have them correct themselves, and then once they have those miscorrections or misconceptions corrected, then they're able to, if they want to, teach other. We do peer teaching, peer editing.
By using student assessment data, I'm able to intervene by providing tutoring before, during, or after school. I can modify lessons to better meet the needs of the individual student, and I can also differentiate instruction to accommodate the different learner styles.
For reading, we base their reading goals on the growth assessments, and we look at what their expected growth is and what their stretch goal is. And so they're very aware of how they're performing, and they set their goal, and then they come up with strategies to meet that goal.
Well, hopefully if we're doing it right, then the progress is going to be made.
It gives them a more immediate result, I think. A lot of times I feel in a language arts classroom, especially, the kids have a hard time understanding what it is that they're having a difficult time with. And so what the assessment data does is it shows them exactly what it is they're struggling with, and then helps them understand that concept.
Well, I think that if a teacher is really truly looking at what strategies work well for students, the outcome should be better than what it was if they hadn't been taught strategies, taught to look at their own data.
Well, hopefully by looking at the data and figuring out, where they haven't been successful, and then using that, you're going to see that concepts where they may have struggled initially, when you spend time and go back and review it and tie it into things that you teach in the future, hopefully you will see that students begin understanding them better, and on future assessments they're going to do better.
Also, one of the pieces that I learned the hard way was just really stopping and having a conversation with that student, showing them their assessment, asking them what tripped them up, because a lot of times it's the tier 2 vocabulary. The student knew measurement, the student knew milliliters, but they didn't know what a vase was. They didn't know what a jar was. So sometimes having that impromptu, informal conversation with the student with their assessment in front of them gives you a lot of data that you may not pick up any other way.